Hello neighbor, this is Curt with eTrailer, and today we're going to take a look at the installation of the Westin Sure-Grip Running Boards on our 2021 Nissan Frontier. Now, if you watch this video and you've got some questions about these running boards, or if you decided to go with them and you've got some experiences to share, please leave those in the comments below. We love to use those to help our other neighbors make the best decisions for themselves. Now, the Westin Sure-Grip Running Board offers a 6-inch wide step for you to get in and out of the vehicle, which can definitely be important if, say, you've got children getting in and out, or any elderly, maybe you're picking up the parents all the time, or maybe you're just somebody yourself that's a little shorter and struggles getting up those high steps in and out of a truck. That's exactly what running boards are for. And the Westin Sure-Grip is an excellent option in that aesthetically, I think it looks great on the Frontier. It really looks like a factory running board on here. And the grip on the middle is going to be excellent in some of those other weather conditions where things might be a little more slick, say, it's raining, maybe even a little bit of ice. I think this rubber step in the middle is an excellent option for anybody that's a little worried about slipping off of these from time to time. It's also got these molded plastic end caps here, which are going to do a pretty good job of keeping some of the debris from getting into the running boards. Installation on the Nissan Frontier is actually not very difficult at all. It's something that anybody can do. However, if you watch this video and decide maybe this install isn't for you, go ahead and check out our dealer locator. They'll be able to find somebody for you locally in order to help you get these installed. But if you are interested in seeing how to install them yourself, stick around. We're going to get them put on right now. Now, as we begin our installation, we're going to start with our brackets. Now, all 6 brackets that you get in the kit are going to be exactly the same, so you don't have to worry about what position or whether you put it on driver or passenger side. All 6 of them are identical. We're going to take 6 of our flange nuts, and then we've got our 13mm socket. I picked up a 13mm wrench and an extension just in case there's some places that are harder to reach. You might want to have those handy. And I've got my torque wrench as well. So first thing we'll do is take one of our brackets and get it underneath the vehicle and get that put on. Now, what you're going to find underneath the Frontier are 3 sets of protruding bolts on each side of the vehicle. So we're on our driver's side now. So this is the set that's closest to the tailgate. There's another set up by the front wheel well and another set right in the middle. Because they're protruding bolts, I would recommend taking your flange nuts and running them up and down each one of these bolts dry, just to make sure there's no corrosion on them. If there is, go ahead and find yourself a wire brush and see if you can get them cleaned up until those bolts run up and down evenly. But right now they are clean. We're going to go ahead and take our bracket. The longer part here should be out away from the vehicle, so we're going to take the shorter end right here, place it up onto the bolts, and then we're going to take our flange nut and we're just going to tighten them down a little bit just to keep these in place. We do want them to be slightly adjustable for us until we tighten them down completely. Now that we've got all 3 brackets in place, you kind of get a good idea of where they're located. We had shown you this one on camera just a moment ago, and I just wanted to show too that we have left them just slightly loose. We want to just have that flexibility for when we mount our running board. And with that being said, let's go back to the tailgate and get our running board prepped. Now, one of the things you're going to get in the box with your running boards is this kind of bit of weather stripping that we have here. It's really stiff plastic, except for the top that's kind of got a rubber flange to it. Now, this is an optional piece. We realized in installing the passenger side that the running board wouldn't fit on the brackets when we use this. So you could give it a try on yours. If it works, great. If it doesn't, you can opt not to. The way that you would put it in, though, is by taking this kind of shorter edge here, feeding it into this slot here, and just working it all the way down the running board. But since we're not going to be using it today, we're just going to be setting it aside, and we're going to be getting our bolts installed. So on the underneath of the running board here, you're going to have 3 long slots. The middle slot you're not going to use unless you purchase the light kit to go with it. This is where the wires for that would run. But we're not using the light kit today, so we're going to take a few of our square head bolts, and on the outer 2 grooves, we're going to put it in, and you kind of have to force it. There is a stop gap here. You kind of want to force it in. I find it's easiest if you get a finger on the bolt head and on the threading itself and kind of push them both together. It'll click in, and once it's past that front point, it'll slide on really easily. We're going to do that right up here as well. This one was a little stiffer. There it goes. Okay, so now we have all 6 of our bolts in place. We could take our running board over to our bracket and get it into its spot. As you saw before, these bolts slide back and forth really easy. They're very movable. So we're going to kind of lay our board up here on our brackets. And then we'll get underneath so we can feed our bolts through each of those holes. So I kind of like to start with the middle and get these lined up and dropped in and work from the ends. That way it creates a little bit of an anchor for us. And I'm just going to work my way from that. Now that I've got the middle bracket in, I'm going to work my way over here to the front. And I'm going to just slightly lift this up just enough to get those into position and drop them into the slots. And now we're at the tailgate. We're going to get these bolts dropped in too. This can be the trickiest one because we're trying not to pop it out of the other slots as well. And now we have it in. And we can position our running boards back and forth at this point before we tighten them down. And I do believe that really the best position on the Frontier, for me anyway, is really to kind of move them all the way up to the front as close as possible. Even with that being done, because of the seat here and everything, if anybody's stepping out of the second row, it's going to be up in this area anyway. So having all of that kind of more board toward the front makes a bit more sense because of the foot room that we have up here for the driver. So once we get that kind of in its position that we want, the other thing too is that we want to position it really kind of as close to the vehicle as possible before tightening it down. And the reason for that is you can only come out a little bit from it, but as we come out, it just gets a little bit closer to the edge of our tire there. We really don't want it protruding out any more than that. That'll give it, that'll put it at risk of being scratched up and bumping into things. And being a 6-inch wide step rather, having it closer to the vehicle still gives us plenty of foot room on here to get in and out. So the next step is going to be to bolt down our running boards onto our brackets. And what we'll do is we'll take our washer and our standard nut and we'll go ahead and get those threaded on. Again, we're not torquing anything down completely yet. What we really want to do is leave it a little loose to make sure our positioning is correct before we actually torque them down. Now that we've got everything in position, we got to tighten down a little bit so it's not moving anywhere. It's time to go ahead and torque down our bolts. So read the instructions carefully. Make sure that you've got the right torque setting for each individual bolt. And I would start with the brackets and tightening those down, and then tightening the running board down after that. So yeah, after everything's torqued down, it is ready to roll. So there's a look at the installation of the Westin Sure-Grip Running Boards on our 2021 Nissan Frontier. I'm Curt with eTrailer. Thanks for stopping by.